Okay, so the question today is write about the events of the first year following the Prophet's arrival in Medina. Where will that start from? So, what would you answer in that? Just a quick, outline of to what could be the answer of the A part. Write about the events of the first year following the Prophet's arrival in Medina. The first utmost thing that he did was build the Masjid al-Nabi. He also participated in it. Then he established the Brotherhood bond, and then the Charter of Medina was also established in the first year. So that is what you could mention in that. What lessons can Muslims learn from the Brotherhood that was created in Medina? So what, as Muslims today, what can we learn from the lessons, what can we learn from the Brotherhood bond that was created in Medina? Now, for the first slide. First of all, what we do learn is unity. The Muslim Ummah emerged as a unified body. The Muhajir came in, and the Ansars, they helped them, they helped them, they facilitated them, and it created unity amongst the Ummah. Then what does it teach us? What lesson can we learn? That the Ansar were selfless people. Sansabila, not here, leave it there to dry. Then आप slip हो जाओगे. उधर जाके छोड़ दें, इसके ऊपर रखें ताकि आप slip ना हो. Be careful, अच्छा सब कुछ आपने wet कर दिया. इतने ज़्यादा. Let it dry now. And Papa's ये पड़े हुए, don't touch them, अच्छा? Okay, sorry. Salsabila, if you want to go and do that, take it downstairs and do it there. Close that door and the light, because सारी एसी की हवा उधर जा रही है. नहीं, सारी आवाज़ जाएगी अंदर. मैंने आपको ये करने दूँगी. आप टीवी लाउंज में जाके कर लें या नीचे जाके कर लें. Don't do that. Take it down. Take it down. Okay. So, and then a new community was formed based on the Brotherhood bond. So if we are also in a foreign country, then we should make a community of, the Muslims. And in fact, that does happen if you're in Canada or America or England, then you will have the Muslim community stick together. Like over here, because we're living in a Muslim country, we don't really realize how important it is to live as a community and be synced in a community. But when you're living abroad and when you're living with multi-faith people, then the Islamic community sticking together is very important. Okay. Welcome new Muslims. What do they do? What do we learn? The present day Muslims, what do we learn? That if somebody has reverted to Islam, we should welcome them with all of our heart. Just as the Ansar did at that time, based on faith, they formed the Brotherhood bond. If there's a new Muslim in society who has just converted, you must welcome them. Do you know you can give zakat money to a new Muslim, a person who's reverted? And because naturally when you revert, you belong to a different faith, and usually the faith that you did belong to, people leave you and they stop the financial support that they give you. So even your zakat can be given to those people who are newly reverted to Islam. So what lesson can we learn from that Brotherhood bond? That we should welcome new Muslims. Okay, and then rise above caste system. Remember, they were the Aus and the Khazraj who invited the Prophet. And what does it show us? That the Brotherhood bond in Islam rose above caste system. And even today, the reason why as a nation we are facing downfall, and as an ummah we are facing downfall, is because we are not managing to rise above caste system. You will see Muslims, instead of being united, they will say, oh, that person belongs to the Raja class, those person are Chaudhry, the Kashmiris, they will consider themselves elevated from the rest. So due to these, we have biased minds, and we don't manage to bring the unity that is required amongst the Muslim Ummah. That is the reason why we are, in fact, the Muslim Ummah is facing downfall. And then rise above sectarianism, rise above the Shia, Sunni, Wahhabi, and Ahl Hadith, and so on. Rise above that. We should rise above that. This shows us, if they could do it at that time, then we can also stick together as a unified body if we rise above the sectarian, differences that we have, and the biases, the prejudice that we have. We should rise above that. Cooperation. What do we learn from the Brotherhood? What lessons does it teach us? To cooperate with each other. Remember, how did they cooperate? They allowed them into their homes. They were cooperating, financial cooperation. They were, financially supporting them. They were giving them a place to live in their business. They, gave them work so that they could work also. So they were cooperating. What do we learn? That they were cooperative with each other. Generosity. What else does it show? It shows the Ansar's generosity. I mentioned this before, that the one Ansar remained hungry just to feed his Muhajir, brother. So what does it teach us? We should also be generous, and we should also cooperate with each other in the Muslim Ummah. Whereas it's sad to say that cooperation, when it comes to us as a nation, it doesn't work too good. We're not working. Although you'll find many people who do cooperate, there are some good people still in the society. But if you look at a large, people are not that cooperative as they should be, and not that generous as they should be. If they are generous, they would only be generous to their own kith and kin, not to any, person from another, family or city or anything. Okay, do you see I have brothers beyond borders? Have you heard this term, doctors beyond borders, lawyers beyond borders? This is a modern term. Well, not so modern. It's like been used for like 10 to 15, 20 years now. Have you heard this term, doctors beyond borders?
No, ma'am.
You haven't? I want you to. Has somebody heard? Somebody said yes. Did somebody say yes?
I did.
Have you heard it?
Yes, I did from my khala.
What does it mean?
All the doctors are united beyond the borders, and they have to help every patient.
Yes, Doctors Beyond Borders is basically, it's a social welfare organization in which all the doctors, they've formed a group. It's a welfare organization where they go anywhere. They would go to Gaza. They would go to wherever there is, any problem, a humanitarian crisis. They go there to, give their services, volunteer, and they give their services, right? So if we could have Doctors Beyond Borders, then the Brotherhood bond teaches us brothers beyond borders. That, as you're Muslims, there is no, limitation due to borders, if due to a geographical border, right? So if we are brothers, the whole ummah should also be, because if Gaza is suffering, then we should equally be, feel their suffering too. And if we have to go and help them, or there's some sort of way that we can help them, then we should also try, the generosity. We could be, send in aid, or try to, if there's a walk being arranged in your country. First of all, one thing that you can do is ban all of those, boycott all of those companies that support the genocide in Gaza. That would be one thing that you as teenagers can do. Suppress the need to go to McDonald's, suppress the need to go to KFC, suppress the need to drink Pepsi. These are things that you can do. I mean, try your level best to belong to that brotherhood bond of Muslims. Let me just... So I think that has answered... does that satisfy the question? I hope it does.